From choosing between Hollywood fame and NFL fame to hearing voices that tell you to stop, there are so many athletes that have quit due to very strange reasons in the past. Let's talk about Jim Brown for a second here. The Cleveland Brown is nowhere near the type of success it once had in the past. They might have lost a lot, but there was a time when they were a proper threat to the opposing team. And it was partly due to their fullback, Jim Brown. Brown had a very effective 9-year-long career. What that means is that he won 8 rushing championships. And not just that, he also was named league MVP 3 times. Despite all of that, Brown for some reason felt attracted to Hollywood instead. But the fact of the matter is that after a certain point, he started to value the movie business over his career as an athlete. In 1966, working on his second film titled The Dirty Dozen, he actually missed out on his team's training camp. And if that doesn't speak about his priorities, I don't know what will. Art Modell, the owner of the team, started to fine Brown. But when even that wasn't enough, he gave Brown an ultimatum where he had to choose between football and Hollywood. And guess what he chose? Brown wrote a letter to Modell to announce his decision to him, and then later held a press conference doing the same. He explained that football was no longer providing the mental stimulation that he wanted, and Hollywood was doing that job for him. I mean, fair enough, you can't judge him for that. But I can't say the same for Mike Wallace, though. The guy played for the Miami Dolphins in the NFL. But wait, that's not the strange part. His issue was that he would quite often get upset for not getting enough playtime. It became so unbearable for him that he decided to create a scene out of it. In 2014, in a game against the New York Jets, he left the field before the second quarter could even finish, and he wasn't shy in explaining to the coach what the reason was. Take a guess for me. No? Okay, well, he told him that since he hadn't received a pass in the first half, he didn't feel like playing anymore. Yeah, that's an NFL pro talking. But what's even stranger is that after the game, Wallace refused to talk to any of the reporters, and instead hid behind his teammate Brandon Gibson, who did all the talking for him. Obviously, the Dolphins let him go 3 months later. Wallace did continue to play in the league, but eventually retired in 2018. I wouldn't be surprised if the reason was again the same. Oh, but how about I tell you about a guy who left without any reason? Sampa Lajunen, a Finnish athlete, achieved remarkable success in the sport of Nordic combined, one which involves both cross-country skiing and ski jumping. He made history by winning 3 gold medals and 2 silvers in the 2002 Winter Olympics. And in addition to his Olympic achievements, he also earned 1 gold, 4 silvers, and 3 bronze medals in various world championships, which goes on to speak about what an outstanding athlete he was. I mean, winning the World Cup twice, that alone cemented his place as one of the greatest Nordic combined athletes of all time. However, despite his success, Lajunen made the surprising decision to retire from professional sports at the young age of 24. After retiring, he returned to his studies and earned a degree in economics from the University of Jyväskylä. Again, this feels like a case where the person has peaked so quickly that playing anymore sounds redundant. So yeah, to some extent, his retirement does make sense. But moving on, explain to me why John Kruk tried to retire without being noticed. In the past, being a successful baseball player didn't necessarily require one to be fit or healthy. Babe Ruth was a prime example of this, and so was John Kruk, a player who made a name for himself in the 1990s. But despite being overweight and a smoker, Kruk was known for his excellent batting eye. It's not surprising that his talent earned him a respected reputation in the sport. But here's where the twist comes in. In 1995, Kruk surprised everyone when he abruptly announced his retirement from the game. While knee pain may have been a factor, he did not give any warning or explanation to his fans or teammates. Instead, he opted for a low-key exit during a game between his team, the White Sox, and the Orioles. Kruk's manager, probably the only guy aware of his desire to leave on a high note, put him in as a designated hitter. Kruk played his at-bat in the first inning with the same intensity as a World Series game, managing to get a hit despite his injury. After the inning, Kruk said goodbye to his teammates and drove to West Virginia without speaking to the media. He later released a statement explaining that his desire to compete at this level had waned and it was time for him to go. Yeah, okay, I think I can let this pass considering what's next in store. So let's talk about Carlos Roa. Argentinian goalkeeper Carlos Roa rose to fame after an impressive performance in the 1998 World Cup. In 1999, Manchester United offered him $10 million to play for them. But Roa decided to retire from soccer at the young age of 30. He was a devout Seventh-day Adventist and believed that the approaching millennium signaled the end of the world. Roa announced his retirement so that he could prepare for the end of days in a remote Spanish village with his family. He refused to work on Saturdays, which caused him to miss many games, and he never regained his previous level of success upon returning to soccer. Even after retiring, Roa remained isolated from the public eye for years. But then a newspaper successfully tracked him down. To no one's surprise, he stated that he did not miss soccer at all. Not sure if I could say the same about Tom Brady, though. I mean, the guy has come back from retirement and then gone back to retiring. He was clearly not ready for it the first time. One would think re-retiring so quickly would mean that he could still be coming back. But by the looks of it, that doesn't seem to be the case this time. Of course, rumors have been spreading ever since Brady finally decided to retire for the last time earlier this year, and he knows about them. In fact, he addressed them in a rather perfect manner. Going on his social media, he explained that anyone who thinks he's got time for the NFL has never adopted a 2-month-old kitten for their daughter. Now, how cute is that? Obviously, that's not going to be his reason for not coming back, but I think he's still made up his mind this time. Unfortunately, not every retirement is as cute as this one, though. Take, for example, Bobby Isaac. This one's rather sad. Isaac was a NASCAR driver who achieved great success in his career. He won 37 races and became the 1970 Grand National Series champion. But in 1973, he had an unexpected retirement during a race at the Talladega Superspeedway. After a friend of his died in a wreck, Isaac claimed he heard a strange voice telling him to get out of the car or something bad would happen. So he pulled into the pit and retired, saying he knew how it feels to quit. Despite returning to the sport the following year, he only participated in 19 more races. Isaac died almost 4 years after his abrupt retirement when he overheated during a race and collapsed on the track. He passed away a day later. And there you have it, some strange reasons for why athletes retired and quit.